November 2020. The tunnel cameras at the Santiago Bernabeu caught something they shouldn't have. Karim Benzema, Real Madrid's captain, turned to Ferland Mendy and whispered words that would haunt a young Brazilian for months. He does what he wants. Don't play with him. He's playing against us. The cameras were rolling, the world was watching, and Vinicius Junior's reputation was in tatters. Fast forward 18 months, and that same Brazilian is standing in Paris, celebrating a Champions League trophy after scoring the winning goal in the final. The same teammate who told others not to pass him the ball is now calling him unstoppable. Something extraordinary happened between those two moments. But here's the wild part. Nobody saw it coming. So what changed in Vinicius Junior's game that transformed him from a laughingstock into one of the most feared wingers on the planet? Let's be real about where Vinicius was before the 2021-22 season kicked off. From 2018 to 2021, he'd become the punchline of European football. 49 games, 6 goals. That's it. The kid who Real Madrid paid £38 million for when he was barely 18 couldn't finish his dinner, let alone finish a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. The memes were brutal. Compilation videos of his missed chances racked up millions of views. Spanish newspapers ran headlines asking if Madrid had wasted their money on a Brazilian flop. Even his own fans at the Bernabeu would groan when he took a shot. And the worst part? They had every right to. He'd dribble past 3 defenders like they were training cones, create space that didn't exist, then blast the balls at Valdebebas training ground. Something was brewing that would flip the entire narrative on its head. Summer 2021. Carlo Ancelotti walked back through the doors of Real Madrid for his second stint as manager. Now, most people thought this was just a safe hire, a steady hand to guide the ship while Madrid figured out their post-Ronaldo identity. But Ancelotti saw something in Vinicius that everyone else had written off. The Italian didn't try to fix Vinicius, he unlocked him. First tactical change, give him freedom. Ancelotti told Vinicius he could drift inside from the left wing whenever he wanted. No rigid positioning, no staying glued to the touchline. If the space was in the middle, take it. If defenders gave him room on the outside, exploit it. This one adjustment flipped everything because defenders couldn't prepare for where Vinicius would pop up next. Second change, and this was genius, Ancelotti built the entire attack around the Benzema-Vinicius connection. Real Madrid's formation would shift from their standard 4-3-3 into a 4-4-2 during attacks, funneling everything through these two. Benzema would drop deep, pulling centre-backs out of position and creating pockets of space. And who would explode into that space? Vinicius. Suddenly, his pace and dribbling weren't just party tricks, they were weapons with purpose. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but by October 2021, something clicked. Against Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, Vinicius and Benzema combined for both goals in a 2-1 win. The chemistry was undeniable. The player who couldn't buy a goal was now creating them and scoring them with frightening consistency. But the real story of this season wasn't just about tactics and positions. It was about what was happening inside Vinicius's head. December 2021. A journalist asked Vinicius what had changed. His answer was simple but revealing. I'm doing things with more tranquility and more quality. I've improved my calmness. That's it. That was the secret. The kid who used to panic in front of goal had learned to breathe. Think about what that means. For 3 years, every touch Vinicius took in the box came with the weight of expectations, criticism, and his own desperation to prove everyone wrong. That pressure made him rush, made him second guess, made him snatch at chances instead of placing them. But somewhere between the boos and Ancelotti's tactical freedom, Vinicius found peace. He stopped trying to prove he belonged and just started playing. The numbers tell the story. By his 14th match of the season, he'd already scored more goals than his entire previous campaign. 9 goals in 14 games. Then it became 15 goals. Then 20. Each goal built more confidence. Each assist silenced another critic. And the player who teammates avoided passing to became the player they looked for first. Benzema noticed it too. The same man who'd told Mendy not to pass to Vinicius now couldn't stop praising him. He's unstoppable, Benzema said to reporters. The relationship had evolved from frustration to mentorship to genuine partnership, and that partnership would carry Real Madrid through one of their most dramatic seasons ever. March through May 2022. This is where Vinicius truly announced himself to the world. Real Madrid faced Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final. Most people wrote them off. Vinicius had other plans. His movement, his directness, his refusal to be intimidated by Chelsea's defense. He was everywhere. Madrid completed the comeback. Then came Manchester City in the semi-finals. Again, Madrid went behind. Again, they looked finished. But Vinicius kept attacking, kept creating chances, kept believing. His partnership with Benzema and Rodrigo pulled off another miracle comeback. 2 goals in the dying minutes. Bernabeu erupted, and Vinicius was at the heart of it all. The final, Liverpool, Paris, May 28th. This was Vinicius's moment to cement his transformation. 64th minute, the score still 0-0. Federico Valverde fires in a cross from the right. Thibaut Courtois makes an incredible save. The ball bounces loose, and there's Vinicius, calm, composed. He side-foots it into the net. Madrid win 1-0. Vinicius scores the winning goal in the Champions League final. The same player who couldn't hit a barn door 18 months earlier just delivered the biggest trophy in club football. 22 goals, 20 assists, 42 goal behind only Benzema, named UEFA Champions League young from meme to legend. And this is where things get really interesting about how far his ceiling actually goes. Here's what made Vinicius's breakthrough so special. It wasn't just about the goals. It was about how complete his game became. His defensive work rate improved massively. Ancelotti praised him constantly for tracking back and helping the fullback. His decision-making, which used to be his biggest weakness, became sharp. He knew when to pass, when to shoot, when to take on his man. The Spanish press started comparing him to Neymar. That's the highest compliment you can give a Brazilian winger. Even Neymar himself jumped in, calling Vinicius the best player in the world after the Champions League final. That's your compatriot, who plays for your biggest rival club, giving you that level of respect. That tells you everything about how far Vinicius had come. But the tactical evolution was what really separated him from other fast wingers. Ancelotti are used to stopping traditional wingers who hug the touchline, but Vinicius would start wide, then suddenly appear between the lines like a second striker. His pace meant he could transition from midfield to the box in seconds. His dribbling meant he could create shots from nothing. His improved finishing meant he could actually convert those chances. The partnership with Benzema deserves its own deep and pull defenders with him. Vinicius would make diagonal runs behind. The passing triangles they created with Modric and Kroos were unstoppable. 42 combined goals between them in all competitions. That chemistry didn't just win them La Liga and the Champions League, it changed how teams had to defend against Madrid entirely. Let's zoom out for a second. Before the 2021-22 season, Vinicius had scored 14 goals in his entire Real Madrid career. After that season, 46 goals and counting in just 2 years under Ancelotti. That's not improvement, that's transformation. That's evolution at elite football. Talent alone isn't enough. Tactical fit matters. Mental state matters. Having a manager who believes in you matters. Vinicius always had the raw ability, the pace, the dribbling, the audacity to try things others wouldn't. What he needed was the framework to use those gifts effectively. Ancelotti provided that framework, Benzema provided the mentorship, and Vinicius provided the hunger to prove everyone wrong. What makes this story resonate is how many times he could have quit. After the Benzema tunnel incident, he could have demanded a transfer. After 3 years of criticism and missed chances, he could have lost confidence permanently. After being booed by his own fans, he could have crumbled, but he didn't. His moment came. He didn't just take it, he owned it. So here we are, looking back at one of the most remarkable redemption stories in modern football. A player written off as an expensive mistake became a Champions League final hero. A winger who couldn't finish became one of Europe's most clinical attackers. A young Brazilian who was told not to receive passes became the player everyone wants the ball at their feet. The 2021-22 season wasn't just good for Vinicius Junior. It was legendary. It was the season that announced a superstar. The season that validated Real Madrid's faith in a teenager. The season that showed the world what happens when raw talent, goals, 20 assists, a Champions League trophy, and a complete rebirth of a career that seemed destined to be remembered as a what-if story. But perhaps the most important question isn't how good was that season. The question is, how much further can Vinicius Junior go? Because if his first legendary season taught us anything, it's that writing off Vinicius Junior is the biggest mistake you can make. The kid from São Gonçalo, who was pushed around like a child in his first European seasons, is now pushing defenses around like they're training cones. And honestly, the scary part for the rest of Europe is that he's only getting started.